Let me tell you something. When I say an older woman never sleeps with a younger man, I don't mean never as in don't happen. Oh, it happens. But when it does, it's never just about the physical part. Because see, a grown woman, she don't give herself to just anybody. She's been through too much, seen too much, cried too much, healed too much to just be somebody's fun time. When an older woman looks at a younger man, she's not just seeing a smile or abs or a little swagger. No, she's looking at maturity. She's asking herself, can he handle me? Can he handle my peace, my standards, my silence, my worth? Because a younger man might come with energy, but baby, that energy fades when the bills, emotions, and responsibilities show up. See, a mature woman doesn't play games anymore. She doesn't chase, she doesn't beg, and she surely doesn't settle. She knows her value, not because someone told her, but because life taught her. And life is a tougher teacher than any classroom. When an older woman looks at a younger man, she doesn't see what a younger girl sees. She's not impressed by his smooth talk or how many followers he's got. She's watching his actions, his tone, and his consistency. Because after living long enough, she's learned that words can sound good, but they don't mean nothing without proof. A mature woman has been through love that broke her, promises that faded, and smiles that hid lies. She's done playing guessing games. When she looks at a man, she wants to know, is he steady? Does he know who he is? Can he handle me when I'm silent, not just when I'm sweet? She's not moved by excitement anymore because she's learned that excitement can come from the wrong people too. A younger man might bring energy and passion, but energy alone can't hold a woman who's built herself back from pieces. She's seen how temporary excitement can be. She's seen how easily it can fade when life gets real. The bills, the emotions, the everyday challenges, those things test a man's character, not his charm. And when you've lived long enough, you start caring less about the butterflies and more about the backbone. An older woman wants emotional maturity. She wants a man who can stand beside her, not someone who needs to be taught what love even means. She's worked too hard to heal herself to start fixing someone else. She doesn't want to be someone's teacher. She wants to be their partner. That's why she values maturity over excitement. Excitement is easy to find. Maturity is rare. Excitement might make her smile for a night, but maturity makes her feel safe for a lifetime. When she talks, she doesn't just want someone to listen. She wants to be heard. She wants her words to mean something to someone. And if a man can't meet her where she is emotionally, she won't force him to. A younger man might take that as rejection, but to her, it's self-respect. She doesn't have time to waste. Time has already taught her that every moment of peace is precious. She'd rather eat alone than sit at a table where she has to beg for attention or understanding. That's the thing about maturity. It changes your definition of love. When she was younger, she probably thought love was about feeling alive, about the rush, the spark, the passion. But now, she knows love is about feeling calm. It's about being able to breathe next to someone. It's about knowing you're safe, that you can be yourself without fear. That's what she wants. Not someone who excites her, but someone who brings peace. And when she looks at younger men, she doesn't look down on them. She just understands where they are in life. They might still be learning who they are, still chasing validation, still proving something to the world. And that's okay. But she's past that stage. She doesn't need to prove anything to anyone anymore. She's lived, she's learned, and now she's protecting her peace like it's gold. So if a younger man comes to her with charm and confidence, she might smile, but that smile doesn't mean she's impressed. It means she recognizes the effort. But she also recognizes the difference between effort and consistency, because that's what life has taught her. You can fake excitement, but you can't fake maturity. At this stage, she wants a love that matches her growth. She's not chasing butterflies, she's building balance. She's not waiting for grand gestures, she wants genuine connection. The little things matter to her, respect, effort, honesty, emotional presence. She knows that what lasts is never built on excitement alone. It's built on maturity. And that's why she doesn't get carried away by temporary attraction. She's learned that sometimes peace is the most powerful form of passion. Would you like me to expand Keynote to Wisdom from Experience next into a 600-word Steve Harvey style segment 2? Wisdom is something an older woman carries without even trying. It's in the way she talks, the way she moves, and the way she handles things that used to break her. She doesn't have to say she's wise. Her silence already proves it. She's lived through love that didn't last, friendships that faded, people who used her kindness, and situations that tested her strength. Every mistake, every heartbreak, every disappointment became her teacher. She learned not to chase people who show her she's not a priority. She learned that love without peace isn't worth keeping. She learned that she doesn't have to explain her worth to anyone who can't see it. When a younger man comes along, he might think she's cold or distant, but what he doesn't understand is that she's not cold. She's careful. She's not bitter. She's wise. She's not scared. She's selective. She's been through enough to know that not everyone deserves access to her energy. Her peace took years to build, and she's not about to hand it to someone who's still trying to figure out who they are. That's not arrogance, that's experience speaking. See, when you've lived long enough, you stop reacting the same way. You stop arguing about small things. You stop chasing people who walk away. You stop crying over things that don't change. You start protecting yourself differently. An older woman knows that some people only come to take, not to give. Some people love your light, but don't help you keep it burning. That's why she listens more than she talks now, because her wisdom tells her that time always reveals who's real and who's just showing up for the benefits. Her wisdom also gives her patience. She doesn't rush into relationships. She doesn't jump at every opportunity, and she doesn't panic when things fall apart. She's seen how life can change in one phone call, how people can switch up overnight, and how heartbreak can make you stronger if you let it. So she takes her time. She trusts God's timing more than her own. She knows that what's meant for her won't need chasing. That calmness, that peace, comes from wisdom, not age. A younger man might not understand that kind of calm. He might see her as hard to read, but she's not playing games. She just knows that energy speaks louder than words. She can tell in 5 minutes what kind of man she's dealing with, because life already showed her every type. She's seen charm before. She's seen empty promises before. She's seen passion that burns out too fast. What she hasn't seen often is honesty, consistency, and humility, and that's what her wisdom helps her recognize when it finally shows up. Her experience has also taught her that love shouldn't cost her self-respect. When she was younger, she might have thought being in love meant giving everything. But now she knows love shouldn't drain her. It should fill her. She knows that a man who truly loves her won't confuse her or make her feel small. Her wisdom reminds her that the right man doesn't need convincing. He'll recognize her value without her having to prove it. She's also learned how to walk away gracefully. That's something only experience can teach. She doesn't need to argue or get revenge. She just leaves, and she means it. She knows her silence is louder than any explanation. That's not pride, that's peace. Wisdom gives her that kind of power. It's not loud or dramatic, it's calm, quiet confidence. She knows that sometimes love isn't about who you want. It's about who brings out the best in you. She's learned that some people love you for how you make them feel, not for who you really are. That's why she values depth over attention. She's not impressed by compliments anymore. She's impressed by consistency, effort, and truth. Her wisdom protects her from falling for surface level love. Every scar she carries is a story of survival, and every tear she cried built her strength. Her wisdom came with a price, but now it's her greatest protection. It keeps her grounded, focused, and peaceful. She doesn't live in her past, but she never forgets what it taught her. That's what makes her different. She doesn't chase love. She attracts it because her wisdom shines louder than her looks. Would you like me to expand keynote 3, respect is non-negotiable, next in the same 600-word Steve Harvey tone? Respect is the one thing an older woman will never compromise on again. She's learned that love without respect is nothing more than a pretty lie dressed in sweet words. She's been through the kind of relationships where she gave everything, her time, her energy, her loyalty, only to realize that the person she gave it to didn't even see her worth. That experience changed her. Now, she doesn't want promises, she wants proof. She doesn't care how much you say you love her if your actions don't line up with your words. She doesn't need fancy dates or long messages. She needs consistency, honesty, and respect because she knows those are the real signs of love. She's not interested in being worshiped one day and ignored the next. Respect to her means being treated with the same energy she gives. It means being listened to when she speaks, being valued when she's quiet, and being appreciated even when she's not doing anything special. She's done being the one who carries all the weight in a relationship. If a man wants to be with her, he has to meet her on equal ground. That's not her being demanding. That's her protecting her peace. When she was younger, she confused attention for respect. She thought the one who called the most or complimented her the loudest was the one who cared the deepest. But life taught her that attention fades when effort is missing. Respect is what lasts. Respect is when a man doesn't raise his voice just because he's angry. Respect is when he remembers what hurts her and never uses it against her. Respect is when he values her time, her mind, and her emotions. Those are the things that make a woman feel safe. An older woman knows that if a man truly respects her, she won't have to keep explaining what she deserves. He'll already act like he understands it. She's not asking for control. She's asking for partnership. She doesn't want to lead every time. But she's not going to follow someone who doesn't know where he's going. She wants mutual respect, a connection built on equality, not ego. When a younger man steps to her, he might not realize that respect is her love language now. He might think flirting and charm will win her over, but those things don't impress her anymore. She pays attention to how he talks to her, how he reacts when she sets boundaries, how he behaves when things don't go his way. Those are the moments that tell her who he really is. Because a man who respects a woman never crosses her boundaries, never mocks her emotions, and never makes her feel small to feel big himself. She's also learned that respect isn't just about how someone treats her. It's also about how she treats herself. There was a time when she stayed where she wasn't valued, hoping things would change. But she doesn't do that anymore. Her self-respect has become her shield. She walks away the moment she feels belittled, the moment she senses she's being used, the moment she sees her worth being questioned. She doesn't need closure from someone who already showed her the truth. Her respect for herself is the closure. That self-respect shows up in everything she does now. She doesn't chase calls, she doesn't beg for attention, and she doesn't settle for halfway love. She knows what she brings to the table, and she's no longer afraid to eat alone because she's learned that peace alone is better than company that makes her doubt herself. She knows that when a man truly respects her, he'll make her feel seen, not invisible, valued, not tolerated, appreciated, not used. Her respect comes from pain turned into power. It's not pride, it's protection. It's the result of loving too deeply and learning too late. Now she carries herself differently, not to intimidate, but to make sure the wrong ones don't waste her time again. When she speaks, she expects to be heard. When she loves, she expects to be valued. She doesn't need validation anymore because respect already gives her that. So when a man comes into her life now, he either steps up or steps out. There's no in between because an older woman knows she can live without love, but she can't live without respect. Would you like me to expand keynote 4? Peace is her priority. Next in the same tone and length, 600 words. Peace becomes everything to a woman who's lived long enough to know what chaos costs. There was a time she thought love was supposed to be loud, full of arguments, passion, and constant emotion. But experience showed her that love that constantly drains you isn't love, it's survival. She's been through relationships that kept her up at night, ones that made her question her worth, ones that felt like walking on eggshells every day. She promised herself she would never live like that again. Now, she values peace more than excitement. She values stillness more than drama. She values being understood more than being desired. When an older woman says she wants peace, she doesn't mean she wants a quiet house or a slow life. She means she wants calm in her spirit. She wants to wake up without wondering what mood her partner will be in. She wants to talk without walking on emotional glass. She wants to love without feeling anxious. That kind of peace only comes when you've been through enough storms to know how beautiful calm really feels. She's not asking for perfection. She's asking for consistency, for emotional safety, for genuine energy that feels warm and steady. She knows now that not every person who loves you brings peace. Some bring pain wrapped in affection, confusion wrapped in charm, control disguised as care. And because she's lived through all that, she learned how to tell the difference. She can feel chaos now before it even begins. The tone of a text, the change in someone's energy, the way someone goes quiet after they're caught, she notices it all. That's why she protects her peace like treasure. She worked too hard to find it. A younger man might not understand why she doesn't respond right away, why she doesn't engage in arguments, why she goes quiet instead of fighting. He might think she doesn't care, but what he doesn't see is that her silence isn't weakness. It's wisdom. She's learned that peace is not something you beg for. It's something you create. She's not interested in proving her point anymore. She's not chasing explanations. She's learned that people who want to stay will bring calm, and people who don't will bring chaos. Her job is to know the difference and choose herself. When she walks away now, she doesn't do it with anger. She does it with peace, because she knows there's no joy in staying somewhere that disturbs your spirit. Her peace is not negotiable anymore. It took her years of losing herself to realize that peace isn't selfish, it's survival. She's done fixing people who refuse to grow. She's done explaining her emotions to those who mock them. She's done crying over things she can't control. Peace is now her priority because she finally understands that when her mind is calm, her life moves better. She doesn't need noise to feel love. She doesn't need chaos to feel alive. She's learned that quiet love is the most beautiful kind. The kind that feels safe, not suffocating, steady, not shaky. The kind that lets her rest, not worry. She used to think peace was boring. Now she knows it's priceless. Her peace shows up in the way she handles people. She doesn't argue, she observes. She doesn't chase, she lets go. She doesn't try to convince anyone of her worth. She simply removes herself from situations that don't align with it. She's learned that peace isn't about controlling others, it's about controlling her reaction to them. That's the kind of growth that only comes from experience. And when a man comes into her life now, she watches how he moves. Does he bring calm or confusion? Does he listen or dismiss? Does he add to her peace or disturb it? Because at this stage, she's not looking for someone who completes her. She's looking for someone who doesn't disrupt her. She's not afraid of being alone anymore. She's afraid of losing her peace again. That's why when she says no, she means it. When she walks away, she doesn't look back because she knows peace isn't found in someone else. It's built within, and she refuses to trade it for temporary comfort. Her peace is her power, and she protects it with everything she has. Would you like me to expand keynote 5? Saw love as a choice, not a need. Next in the same 600-word Steve Harvey tone. Love to an older woman is no longer something she needs to survive. It's something she chooses to share. She's been through enough to understand that needing love and choosing love are two very different things. When she was younger, she might have believed that love was the answer to every emptiness inside her. She thought being in love meant being complete. But over time, she discovered that real love doesn't come to fill a void. It comes to grow what's already whole. That's why she stopped chasing it. She stopped begging for it. She stopped settling for it in pieces. Now, if she loves someone, it's not because she needs them. It's because she sees something real and peaceful in them. She learned that dependency isn't devotion. She used to give too much, thinking her effort could change people. She gave her heart to men who didn't know what to do with it. And she learned the hard way that loving someone who isn't ready will only leave you empty. She's been there, crying over messages that never came, waiting for energy that never matched hers. But experience taught her that love should never make you lose yourself. It should never make you question your worth or fight for the bare minimum. That's why she now loves differently, softer, slower, and smarter. When she gives love now, it's intentional. She doesn't fall, she flows. She doesn't rush into it because she's lonely. She steps into it because it feels right. She's done trying to convince anyone to stay. If it's not mutual, she lets it go with grace. She knows that love is a decision, not a dependency. She chooses who deserves her peace, her time, her energy. And once she chooses, she gives her best. But she also knows when to stop. That's the power that comes with age and healing. She no longer looks for someone to rescue her from herself. She's already done the work. She's healed her heart, found her purpose, and learned to enjoy her own company. Now, a relationship is not her escape. It's an addition. She doesn't need someone to complete her story. She's already written her own chapters. She just wants someone who can read it with respect and add a few more pages with her. A younger man might think love is about passion, sparks, and constant excitement. But for her, love is about peace, understanding, and balance. It's not about how hard it burns. It's about how long it lasts. She's not impressed by promises of forever anymore. She's impressed by presence, by effort, by consistency. She knows that a man who truly loves her won't need to say it all the time. His actions will speak before his words. She's learned that love should make her life better, not heavier. She doesn't want to fix anyone, and she doesn't want anyone trying to fix her. She wants to be accepted, fully, deeply, honestly. She doesn't hide her scars anymore because she knows the right man will see beauty in her strength, not flaws in her past. She understands now that real love doesn't demand her to shrink, it allows her to shine. She's also learned how to love herself in ways no one else ever could. She's her own peace, her own comfort, her own safety. She enjoys her mornings alone, her evenings in silence, her moments of stillness. She's not afraid of being by herself because she knows solitude isn't loneliness, it's strength. So if someone comes into her life now, they have to bring peace, not problems. They have to bring calm, not chaos. Because she's no longer looking for a home in someone else, she's already built one within herself. When she loves now, it's not out of need, it's out of abundance. Her heart isn't hungry, it's full. She gives love because she wants to, not because she's scared to be alone. And that's the kind of love that lasts. The kind that's free, not forced. The kind that grows without control and stays without demand. She knows love isn't about losing yourself. It's about finding someone who helps you remain whole. Would you like me to expand Keynote 6, A Real Man Can Handle Depth, next in the same 600-word Steve Harvey tone? A real man can handle depth. That's something an older woman has come to understand after years of dealing with people who couldn't. She's learned that not everyone who says they want a strong woman can actually stand beside one. Depth requires maturity, patience, and emotional awareness, and that's not something every man has. When a woman has lived, healed, and grown through her pain, she becomes layered. She's not simple to read, and she's not easy to impress. Her depth shows up in the way she loves, the way she forgives, the way she stays calm when most people would explode. A real man recognizes that, and he doesn't run from it. He leans into it. Most men are drawn to her strength at first, but it's only when they face her depth that they realize it's not a game. She's not playing hard to get. She's protecting herself. She's not distant. She's discerning. Her energy isn't cold. It's controlled. She's been through enough to know what deserves her attention and what doesn't. A man who can handle depth won't be scared when she talks about her past, her fears, or her standards. He won't make her feel guilty for expecting effort. He'll understand that her calmness isn't boredom. It's peace, and he'll honor that peace instead of disturbing it. She doesn't need a man to fix her, but she also won't entertain someone who breaks her peace. She's learned that a real man isn't intimidated by a woman who knows what she wants. He doesn't compete with her strength. He complements it. He doesn't try to control her. He stands beside her. He knows how to lead without dominance and love without ego. A real man brings security, not confusion. He doesn't make her question her worth because he already sees it. He doesn't get defensive when she expresses her feelings. He listens because he's emotionally mature enough to understand that communication isn't conflict. Depth to her is not about how much she talks. It's about how deeply she feels. A younger or less mature man might mistake that for complexity, but a real man knows its beauty. He knows that behind her silence, there's wisdom. Behind her patience, there's strength. He sees that she's not closed off. She's careful with who she opens up to. He knows how to create the kind of space where she can finally relax and be soft again. Because even strong women want to be gentle, but only around men who make them feel safe enough to do so. An older woman's depth comes from everything she's survived. She's faced heartbreak, loss, disappointment, and still managed to keep her heart open. She doesn't love recklessly anymore. She loves intentionally. When she gives her energy, it's because she feels safe. When she gives her heart, it's because she sees value. That kind of depth isn't for men who just want surface level connection. It's for men who can sit in silence and still feel connected, who can have hard conversations without running away, who understand that love takes effort, patience, and care. A real man doesn't see her depth as a challenge. He sees it as a privilege. He knows that she doesn't let everyone in. So if she's letting him in, it's because she trusts him. And he protects that trust like it's gold. He doesn't play games. He doesn't disappear when things get hard. And he doesn't make her question his loyalty. He stands firm because he understands that depth requires consistency. He's not scared of her emotions. He respects them. He doesn't try to silence her feelings. He helps her feel heard. And that's why an older woman doesn't waste her time anymore. If a man can't handle her depth, she won't shrink herself to make him comfortable. She's not afraid to walk away because she knows that somewhere out there, there's a man who won't find her too much. He'll see her as exactly enough. A man who's grown enough to match her energy, stable enough to hold space for her, and wise enough to love her in peace. That's the kind of man who can handle a woman with depth, and that's the only kind she's willing to give her heart to anymore.